what it is. So this is the app called Timelines. So I just purchased a yearly plan for about $39 for a whole year. So you can see that, so this is the list of the items I'm tracking. I'm basically programming my entire day on this list, right? So you can see that it starts from the sleep. So I'm planning 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. sleep, right? So after you click in it, you can give it as a color right here. So this is like a way to help you to categorize your activities or your task into different bucket. And then there's notes that you can basically write down for this task. And then there's also a weekly goal, right? So the weekly goal is basically tracking how many hours that you are dedicating to this item. So there are um, different time frames for the goal. So right here, I'm adding a weekly goal because because my sleep, I'm not planning to change the plan for the weekdays versus the weekend. So it will be the same for 7 days straight. So in this case, then 8 times 7, it will be 56 hours, but then I'm allowing some flexibility, 6 hour flexibility, allocating into the 7 days, right? So about, was 8 hours plus one minus one difference, right? So, but then there's also other ones that you can. This is also subcategory, but I'm not using the subcategory here. So here, there's your goal, and then say there are also other time frames for the goal. So it can be a daily goal, or it can be a weekly goal, or it can be a monthly goal, right? So for here, for me, I'm basically allocating my daily items into one, two, three categories, right? There are three colors on this list, right? From the beginning to the end of the day. So for my blue ones, it will be my life work, uh, or to maintain my life chores, right? So it'll be like sleep or housework or all the others. So I basically all naming it life work, and then my orange ones, it's the exercises. So my basically fitness tracking. So for and then for example, I'm basically using the atomic habits tricks to combining the things, so attaching different things together. So it's kind of like systematic programming. So once you do one thing, and then you would immediately automatically be reminded to do the next thing attached. So I'm right here attaching exercises right after getting up. And then for the notes, I'm basically writing the order of the tasks, like the more detailed mini items for this bigger task, right? So, and then the items as well as the time I'm allocating to each of the mini divided items. And so for like by reviewing this, right, and then I'm also assigning like a weekly goal to this, right? So I guess for these, just by reviewing my list here, right? So I'm planning my sleep. I'm not gonna change it for all 7 days in a week. And also this get up and exercises thing, I'm not gonna change it as well, right? But then depending on my weekend schedules. So I probably, so therefore, for the blue bucket and the orange bucket, which is the life work and also the exercise work, I'm not gonna change anything. It will be the same for all 7 days a week. But for the purple ones, which are my work items, right? Then I will make it different between the weekdays and the weekends, right? Because I'm allowing some flexibility time for my social life or some other work-life balance plans, right? So, um, therefore, for that ones, I'm probably just gonna assign a daily, or I guess weekly it can be fine too, right? Um, so these ones, right, the purple ones, it will be like weekly. So therefore, you can see that I'm only assigning like 5 hours for a whole week. So I'm allowing the 2 days break from these work items during the work days, right? So therefore, after you set up these schedules, so you can click on these clock symbol, right? On the this clock symbol on the side on the right, and then it will start tracking. For example, here, you can see this time is counting. It's because I clicked on the clock item on the clock symbol beside this task, so therefore it's tracking, right? But then, for right now, my word days have been programmed, and then you can see also under there, there's also the basic reporting. So it's showing you which item is being tracked right now, and then also the time that has passed, right? So that's also you can see at the bottom there. And then if we click on here, right, on the events, so you can see that I have tracked 3 items, right? So the most top one is the one that's being tracked right now. And then you can see I also tracked my sleep for 2 times so far, and adding up, the times for each of the tracking. And then there's also the goals that you can see, right? Because you like for me, I've actually already set up goals for each of the item, right? So you can see that the exercise and breaks right now, I have it for, because for exercise size in breaks, I actually set a daily goals, right? So daily goals for me is 40 minutes, but now I haven't actually started any tracking for the daily goal, so therefore it's a 0% completed for that item. So that's the daily goals that comes first. And then you can see all my other weekly goals, right? So my sleep, right? My sleep, because I haven't started tracking anything yet, so it's also a 0%, and so forth. So this is like a snap view for your all of your goals, right? Your daily goals, your weekly goals, as well as your monthly goals if you have any. And here, so this timeline, it shows you on a daily basis. I guess there's also a daily basis view, and then there's also a week versus week perspective view. So you can see that I've only in a few days ago, I started tracking my sleep for one time, and then today I started tracking my work item also with the color attached to it, so clearly by one snap view you can see which category of items that you have tracked, and how it's working. And just for illustrative purposes, I'm gonna show how to add one item here. So for this one, I'm planning to add my weekend flexibility, right? So for say, I'm planning for my weekend hiking, right? Tracking. So I will probably do at one called weekend hiking, right? Hiking. Um, so this one I'm planning to make, I've already used other ones. So hiking, it sounds like it's in nature, so I'm probably just gonna add the green ones to it, or, like a really green ones, a bright green, okay, to distinguish it from other ones. So this one, weekend hiking, maybe I'm usually allowing, like a half day, right? Or most of the time, because you know your life better than anyone else. So for myself, I'm probably usually start going out in the afternoon on the weekend and into the evening, right? So then I'm gonna maybe just add goal for it, right? So this is like a social time as well as hiking time. So my ad goal for hiking goal, it will be like, like a whole weekly goal, right? It will be like one afternoon and an evening. So it could, and weekend, so I can do weekend hiking and social, right? So that would be like, starting from say 1 p.m. to, I can still, like a weekend, say, write down 1 p.m. to, say like maybe like 10 or like 9 p.m. So I also need to do the 9 p.m. Sleep prep, right? So that will be the same for 7 days a week. So I'm gonna do this 9 p.m. plus 1 p.m. plus 2 9 p.m. hiking and social time. So it'll be like 8 hours, right? So for that, I'm gonna maybe say it will be weekend 2 days, right? So it'll be like 16 hours, I guess, plus some commute time or whatever. So that is that, right? Add, right? And then you can see then it comes at the bottom of it. So now let me review all the other ones if it makes sense. So the blue ones, sleep, this is gonna stayed the same for all 7 days, and then the get up and exercises, it needs to be consistent for 7 days a week. So the purple ones, it only work for the work day, so I'm not gonna look at it, right? So therefore, just review the goal if it makes sense, right? So 5 hours, yes, so that makes sense. And then this one, so this is weekly goals. I guess it also, so it would be 10 hours divided by 5 is like 2 hours per day. That makes sense. And exercise in breaks, I'm setting a daily goal, right? So it's more like daily I need to do that. So that's fine. And then my lunch, um also prep, it should be pretty much consistent for 7 days, for 7 days a week, right? And then my purple ones, so this one, it's also makes sense for 2 hours per day, right? And then this one, I'm not even, because this goal has already been added on the previous item, right? So this 5 to 7 p.m. life work, I guess it's like some housework stuff, right? Yeah, that's the housework, right? So maybe I should make it more specific. What is the life work? So that's housework. So you can see that uh, on the title. So that's to edit it. So this is housework, and then 7 to 9 p.m. is work time for the week for the work days. I'm not also adding any goal for this, right? And this one, it's fine. It was added before, and then this sleep preps. I'm also planning to make this tracking for 7 days a week. So therefore, I should probably add the goal too. But you can see that, right? Like, for this. Okay, so I'm adding like weekly goal, right? Because it's to be this. So 2 hours so when you add the goal, you can see that there's also limit. So it's not only that you wanna make this item at least, like achieving the goal, but you also wanna see that, when in the reporting, the limit, so maximum, uh you wanna allocate how much time to it. So for this one, I'm also planning to make it, maybe I set like I guess a limit, right? Or yeah, or maybe like let's still put it a goal. So 2 hours. So more so I want to actually track this the start time. I want to make sure that actually I want to start the sleep preps from 9 p.m., right? So this goal, then 2 times 7 days, 2 hours times 7 days, so it'll be like 14 hours, right, for the whole week. So I'm gonna make this down, and then my weekend ones. This weekend ones, it seems that I actually did the 2 p.m. 2 p.m. is when I finish my lunch, right? So therefore, I should probably start my weekend hiking and social at 2 p.m. because I want to keep that 2 p.m. Item consistent for my entire week, 7 days. So there I start 2 p.m. going out. And then that's the 16 hours one. So this one, maybe I can set a limit to it instead, right? So maybe I'll say like, um, maybe like 15 hours, or yeah, I guess make it like a 14 hours limit to it, just for experiment purposes, and then done. And then, so let's see how this week passed, and then I will update you how this productivity boost goes. See you.